Very cool.
I loved fucking Chasing Amy. I'm telling you how much I love that fucking movie.
Thank you. I dig that flick as well.
That's a great movie.
It was fun back in the day.
Why do you like it so much?
It just was such a good feel movie. I don't know. I love the movie.
That's how far you got to reach back to '97 to compliment Kevin Smith these days.
No. Hey, listen. What is it?
No, dude, I appreciate it. I'll take it.
What was it called? What was the one?
Red State.
When Kevin Pollak's head got blown up.
Spoiler.
I came.
Yes.
Okay. It was,
that is.
It's not
I
a
loved
spoiler.
it too.
It's been out.
Yeah, yes.
But it was great. And Goodman is everything he's in.
He's fantastic.
I really liked Red State for real.
Yeah, it was
man.
a fun flick.
When you did that on tour,
How many years ago is that now?
That was going back to 2011 now.
Holy
And then I took
fuck.
3 years off, and then I came back and did Tusk. After Red State, I was like, I'm not going to do this anymore. And then after 3, I was just doing podcasts and live shows and the TV stuff. And then because of that one podcast, we talked about the Walrus story. I was like, I fell in love with writing the script and wrote the script for Tusk and wound up making the movie. And that came together 6 months. Like after that podcast, where we talked about 6 months later, I was on a set. Justin Long's covered in rubber, and I'm going action. He's like, ugh! And the movie was a reality and shit. After that, spun off of that movie. My kids in the movie, her and Lily Rose Depp, Johnny Depp's daughter, play the 2 convenience store clerks in Tusk, very briefly. So I wrote a whole movie about them, spun off a flick, and Johnny comes back for it. He's been fucking astounding. Like that made up for all the Willis stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like working with one movie star that was kind of heartbreaking, and then working with a guy who, here's a perfect example of how awesome this dude is.
Oh, are you saying Bruce Willis?
Bruce Willis was awful?
Was awesome?
No.
You say?
No. What? What happened with...
Oh, he's
Such a
he's
whole
talked
story.
about it.
But
Really?
Let me tell you,
on
you know
our
what?
show and other places.
I'd rather light a candle than curse the darkness. Let me tell you about amazing movie stars instead of giving time to whatever.
It's too bad.
There's this movie
It breaks
we're
your
doing.
heart, doesn't it?
It really
Stay with
does.
me. Stay
All
with
right,
me.
sorry.
Stay
Go
with
ahead,
me.
go ahead,
You
go
can still
ahead.
like him. It's cool. I love Die Hard. Don't worry about it. You don't have to change.
No, I'm open to him being an
He's
asshole.
the sugar of actors.
No. Sugar is sweet, my friend. And we all want it. So here we are making this movie, Tusk, and I wrote this part of this guy, Guy Lapointe, a French-Canadian, kind of like a Clouseau, that we talked about on a different episode of Smodcast, made up the character. And I wrote it for Quentin Tarantino to play because I know he loves Michael Parks. And Michael Parks is going to play our old seafaring man in the movie and stuff. So I said, put them in a scene together. Quentin would love that. So I write the part. I know he loves to act and stuff. Send it off to Quentin. He's like, I don't want to do this. So I'm like, really? What happened? And just later on, what we found out was he thought he was being offered the part of Justin Long, the walrus part. He's like, why would you cut off my legs and make me a walrus? But later on, I was able to explain, like, no, it was this Guy Lapointe part, but didn't matter. We didn't have him. We were Lapointeless at that point. So I was sitting there going, like, who could we cast? And I said, the whole project's been about pushing whimsy, came out of imagination. I was never like, somebody could have put me off it instantly if they were like, don't fucking do this.
Yeah.
I'd have been like, yeah, I probably shouldn't. I'm wishy-washy as fuck, dude. That's why I gravitate towards strong personalities, because I love people who know exactly who the fuck they are in life. Like Jason Mewes, from the moment I met him till now, unwaveringly knew who he was, makes no apologies for who he is, what he likes. Brian Johnson, Walter Flanagan, same way. People that I'm drawn to are people that are like, yeah, I like comics. Fuck you. Like Walter Flanagan, age 20, was like, I was like, oh, I used to read comics, but then I gave it up, when I went to high school because I wanted to get laid. Ha ha. Yeah. And he was like, why would you do that? He's going, they're amazing. He's going, here, fucking, you think this is kids stuff? And he gave me a copy of Dark Knight Returns. He's like, read this. You tell me if that's for fucking kids. I came back the next day. I was like, this is fucking amazing. This is not for kids. He's like, fuck no. Batman breaks somebody's fucking spine. That's not for a child. This is metal. So this was a dude who knew what he liked. And now the world matches his tone, right?
Yes.
Like everyone appreciates comic books, and comic book movies are huge and shit. So I'm drawn to those cats, man. People who know exactly who the fuck they are, because I don't. I'm still figuring it out. Age 45, I got a good idea and shit, but I figure once I get my spine together, then I'll probably die. But maybe that's what my trip is all about, figuring out who the fuck I am. So whole thing's about pushing whimsy, right? I'm like, if this doesn't happen, doesn't matter. It's not like, this is a vision quest, Chautauqua. If somebody could have talked me out of it. So I was like, in a world pushing whimsy, who would you love to play this character? Fuck budget. Fuck, common sense. Just what would
go with it.
What would be the dream?
Yeah.
And I was like, Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp would crush this. And I know him because our kids go to school together. I've known him 10 years. Wonderful guy. But we don't have the relationship where I'm like, hey, we should do a movie together. I understand he's there and I'm down here. But I was like, fuck it, shoot him a text, ask him. And I hit him with a text. I was like, hey, this is Kevin Smith, Harley's dad, because that's how they know me in that world and stuff.
Yes.
And I was like, I never thought I'd say this, but I have a movie I think you'd be perfect for, And he hit me back and he was like, what? And so I sent him to this blog that I had written about how I want to turn the podcast into a movie. I said, it'd be easier to read this. If this is interesting, hit me back. And so I sent him the link, and then he didn't write back for like 15 minutes. I thought he clicked on it. He was like, walrus movie, fuck this. But then fucking I saw the bubbles come up, boop, boop, boop. And I'm like, oh my Lord, he's writing back. And he wrote back something that was crazy, dude. Like, I still, to this day, remember it. Comes up and it says, fascinating. This sounds like the sort of thing that I would care to swim around in. Consider me intrigued.
Wow.
I was like, this guy's like Lord Byron in text
Right.
form, man. Like,
That's
no
pretty-
emojis, no hieroglyphics.
Right.
Man's writing words, making sentences and stuff. So he was kind of
It's a
into
hell
it.
of a
So I
text.
said,
It
oh
is a
my
hell of a
God.
text.
It was like the text had scarves. That's how cool
I
it
got to
was.
up my text game.
I would,
You know what I'm saying? Like he is. He
Motherfucker.
has excellent text game.
He's a poet laureate as far as sex are concerned.
On text.
In
Wow.
text form.
That's
so
annoying.
I says to my man,
Gotta get rid of my
I was like,
smiley
I'm gonna send you a
faces.
script, dude. Read the script. Sent him the script. He liked the flick, and he was like, I would love to do this. And I was like, and I remember I was like riding with Ashley. Ashley's my assistant. She drives the car, rolls my joints. And it's the first day that I was
Good
driving.
assistant. That's a good assistant.
That's a good job.
Let me know when you let her go.
There's a long line behind her. First day with her, she's in the car. I get this text back from him going, I read the script. I love this. Like, thanks for considering me. I really want to do this. And my heart stopped. I was like, I'm driving with this girl I barely know. It's her first day on the job. All I know is she's a 25-year-old lesbian. Adorable as hell, bright and sunny and stuff. But, like, that's all I know about
That's
Ashley.
all I need to
Just
know.
met her. So I'm going like, Ash, I read this text, my heart stops. And I raise my hand. I'm like, Ashley, hold my hand. And she goes, you know I'm gay, right? And I was like, yeah, totally. This has nothing to do with that. Hold my hand. And she takes my hand. I was like, if I read this text correctly, I think Johnny Depp is going to be in Tusk. And she goes, that stupid fucking walrus movie? And I was like, yes, yes. So he wound up being, I talked to him and I was like, hey man, this is amazing. Thank you for doing it. He goes, when are you shooting? I said in about 2-3 weeks. He goes, oh, I can't do it. I'm going to be in England. And I was like, oh. I said, well, wait, what if I could break out the 2 days and shoot that on the West Coast? Like when you're free, we'll shoot the whole movie without you. And then when you're free, we shoot the other 2 days. He goes, you'd be willing to do that for me?
Yes, you motherfucking Johnny Depp, you asshole.
That's what I said. I was like, dude,
So
I know
you
which way
are.
the favor goes. Like, yeah, I'd do that for you. So he's like, if you could do that, dude, I'll totally be in the movie. So I was like, fuck, let's do it.
Right.
And we did it. And a couple months later, he called up and he was like, I'm ready to shoot this thing. And I was like,
That's-
great. We'll organize the days. We organized the days in Los Angeles. And this is the cool part, man. So I show up day one working with this guy, best actor on the planet. If there's a Mount Rushmore, his fucking face is on it. Mount Rushmore of acting, there's Johnny Depp. Show up on set. PA goes, Mr. Depp wants to see you. And I'm like, Johnny's dad is here? And they're like, no, Johnny. And I was, oh, fuck. So I go over to his trailer, knock on the door. And I'm nervous because last time I worked with a massive movie star, whenever I was summoned to the trailer, it was never pleasant. So I go over and I knock on the door and he goes, come in. And I go inside the trailer and he's in the trailer at the makeup chair at the mirror. And he turns around. If you haven't seen the movie Tusk, he has a prosthetic nose, got a fake nose. So he has the fake nose on, but it's not painted yet. It's just sitting there. And I'm like, holy crap, dude, you're wearing a fake nose? And he was like, what do you think? I was like, I think you could have literally phoned this in today. We could have shot a phone and you could have called and that would have been good enough. And you're committing to a fake nose? I was like, I'm flattered. He goes, no, what do you think? Doesn't it look like a dick? He was going like this back and forth. And I was like, yeah, it kind of does look like a dick. Look at it. He goes,
there we go.
He
There
goes,
he
would you
is.
mind? And I said, what do you mean? He goes, well, me and Joel, that's his makeup artist. He goes, me and Joel were talking about painting a blue vein down the side. And I was like, no. And he goes, wait for it. Right at the tip, we want to put a little cut. And I was like, are you saying you want to wear a dick on your face in my movie? I said, dude, if you ever wanted to wear a dick on your face in a movie, Tusk is the fucking movie to do it and do it. And so if you look at the first
I
scene,
see it.
it's
now.
right there. He starts with a monologue down the barrel of
Yeah.
the camera, and then when he turns his face, you see this fucking huge cock on his face. That dude comes to play, man.
That's funny.
He's the best. Like
Wow.
he's all the fun of make pretend as
Yeah.
adults on a movie set.